the European Commission awarded 53 further contracts to this entity, notwithstanding the fact that it had been caught in fraudulent activities. So Ashley compiled all this information with a lot of other stuff and presented it to the Serious Fraud Office. He knew that nothing would happen, and he had TV cameras and journalists outside, and lo and behold, he was given the brush off. But almost his last job before leaving was to do the same thing all over again. And on this occasion, he was given a very high-level interview with a man called Paul Craig. I mention the name for the same reason as I mentioned Mr. Novak's name, so that if anybody has any problems here, they can ring up the Serious Fraud Office and speak to Paul Craig and ask him whether what Christopher Storries just said and what Ashley Moat says on his website is true or false. Well, of course, it's true. Now, what happened was, at the end of the 3-hour discussion, Ashley Moat, which is typical of him, said, "Have I been wasting my time here today?" Paul Craig, "No." Ashley Moat, "Is it a criminal offence to pass public money to an organisation known to be corrupt?" Paul Craig, "Yes." Right. The Serious Fraud Office has agreed that taxpayers' money should not be handed to a criminal enterprise. Excuse me? What this means is that the Serious Fraud Office has been told that funds belonging to the taxpayer are being handed to a criminal enterprise, because that's one of the subjects that Ashley raised with him on this occasion. The Serious Fraud Office is supposed to be engaged in rooting out serious fraud, but it's not doing its job. Now, it's worse than that. It gets worse. And the reason it's worse is that the British government is handing over your money, our VAT money, to a criminal enterprise. But excuse me, the Serious Fraud Office has stated that this is a criminal offence. It therefore follows not only that the European Commission is a criminal enterprise indefinitely because it cannot correct its accounts, it also follows that the British government is engaged in defrauding you, the taxpayer, on an ongoing basis and will continue to do so. The British government is engaged in criminal fraud. It is a co-conspirator and an accessory to the fact of handing over British taxpayers' money to a criminal enterprise. This is ludicrous. It needs to be dealt with. Now, I have a solution to this. There's a very easy solution. And the solution, I've got 2 minutes, and it just fits perfectly. The solution is that the VAT money should, by administrative fiat of the government, be redirected to a special account at the Treasury. Do we need to tell Brussels this? No, wouldn't bother to tell them. What I would do is just reallocate the funds into the Treasury. After all, they've got a certain financial problem, have they not? These funds are not insubstantial. Within 3 years, the Treasury's problems will be finished. For that reason alone, 15, 20 billion will be very happily received at the Treasury. Okay, that's not enough, but never mind. Now, all they have to do is to have the funds redirected. If Brussels gets uptight, the Treasury says, well, your accounts have not been in order for the last 14 years. We have been advised that it's a criminal offence for us to forward funds to you. We have ceased to do so. What's your problem? Now, finally, the Treasury could say, if the Treasury wants to be nice to the Germans, which I don't think is a good idea, but they want to be nice to the Germans, you can say, look, we'll give you 2 years to put your accounts, to get Brussels to put its accounts right. You've got 2 years, and at the end of 2 years, if it's not right, We, the Treasury, annexes the funds in perpetuity, but I wouldn't even give them that. I would just rechannel the money straight away so that the British government is no longer committing fraud against you, the taxpayer, and so that we are no longer paying our taxes into the hands of a criminal enterprise. Thank you very much.